Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, August 28, 2023, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a Time for Change call this Wednesday night at around 9:15 p.m., 9 p.m., 9:15 p.m. and Eastern. We're going to blow the lid off of who's been running this planet for over 700 years. Then people begin to know what the heck's been going on, who the culprit really is, what is it about them, which will clarify a lot of things for a lot of people. You can change the truth, but the truth can't change you. There are as many great truths in our universe as there are stars in the sky. And yet, just like the billions of trillions of stars that exist, not all truths are created equal. This universe is not just made of black and white colors. You look closer on a clear night and you'll see an entire rainbow of flavors. There's a vast, multidimensional cosmic playground out there, and inside us as well. Perhaps we have trillions of cells. The human body actually, on a much smaller scale, so to speak, is no different than a universe. The body can be looked at as a universe. Imagine there was a movie a long time ago called Fantastic Voyage. It was about a technology where you would shrink the medical staff down to microscopic, along with their ship and everything, and they would inject it. They injected it into a body of a man who had a blood clot in his cardiovascular area. And they went in there to take that clot out. We live in a highly diverse, intelligent system, which contains various degrees of truth. And so not every truth will impact us the exact same way. The bigger a truth is, the more it will expand our reality. The smaller a truth is, the more it will shrink and contract our experience of this life. Good news is that we don't have to decide what is a big truth and what is a small truth. Our physical body will let us know. For our heart is the best guide for seeing how expansive or contracted a truth actually is. Now, when you look at everything out there, today, right now, the moment, things you're reading, listening to, watching, whatever, does it resonate with you as the truth? Does it resonate through your heart mind as really, truly the truth? Whenever we discover a larger, more profound truth in this life, a little miracle happens. Everything that once felt hard, heavy, and stuck inside us suddenly becomes exalted and liberated. We feel lighter than air and are filled with a natural, spontaneous joy inside which flows as freely as the wind. The mind stops thinking, and we experience our own source of consciousness. From here, we see life from a much more expanded perspective. And it can happen within milliseconds. One of the biggest truths that is uncovered along our paths is the first lesson in the Course of Miracles. I've stated this many times. It needs to be stated many times. That which is real cannot be threatened, and that which is unreal does not exist. Now, that can be confusing for people. Well, what the heck does that mean? The more you sit with this statement, the deeper it transforms your entire way of viewing yourself, others, and the world. This world. That which is real cannot be threatened. That which is real cannot be threatened. Think about this. What is it that feels threatened inside you? Which defends itself when feeling attacked or provoked? What is this little you who has a need to be on guard and protect itself, trying to assert itself, and attempting to achieve something important or worthwhile with their life? And then, who is this overly strong, confident, all-important you who compensates for the super small, unimportant you? It's the one who has been attempting to make your life secure by feeling self-important, accomplished, met in deep embrace by their beloved, and all the while is feeling a deep, constant separation from God. Good news is, in all this, is that we truly are and nothing to do with who and what we think we are. Okay? That who we truly are has nothing to do with who and what we think we are. We think we're the body. Right? Most of us. Whatever we may think and conceive about ourselves with the mind can only be a thought. And this little thought is too small to be who or what we are. Who and what we really are is beyond any spiritual understanding of the mind. In this moment, and only this moment, we can find what is actually real. And this real thing is the only thing that liberates us and binds us at the same time. That which is real, the real you, does not change. And this essence is what remains the same for all eternity. That which is real, the real you, does not change. And this essence is what remains the same for all eternity. Now, perhaps the most pivotal, enlightening truth that can be discovered is understanding how all identification with the ego is based in some form of fear. If we are not experiencing a state of oneness, unity, love, connection, relaxation, and bliss, we are hanging out in some quality or version of fear. The ego is clinging to some thought or a process of thoughts which believes deep down that it is not one with the divine. It thinks it is not loved, accepted, embraced, or enlightened. The more creative you become, the more godly you become. When your creativity comes to a climax, when each moment of your life is filled with creativity, you live in God, Osha. Enlightenment is simply realizing again and again and again how to remain non-identified with one's ego. The enlightened state is a pure seeing, understanding how the ego is the greatest illusion of them all. To intimately know and become identified with the real self, that which cannot be threatened, is the only true path to total freedom there is. All other paths lead to some form of suffering. It requires no basic standard of ethics, codes, of spirituality, or religious background needed to arrive. You simply experience yourself as the essence of consciousness that you naturally are. The ego, who we think we are, has some truth to it. Yet it's just not a very big truth. It's a smaller truth which only castrates our ability to expand into love, trust, and a feeling of oneness. Ego is a fear-based program that is based in the opposite experience of trust. Whenever we are living in trust 24 hours a day, we start accessing all the wisdom and knowledge known to all the saints, masters, and enlightened beings throughout existence. We step into the greatest experience of our lives. We find our real true selves and know that we are the real masters of our destiny. When we know our real nature, we can allow life to play its ego personality role through us and somehow not get in the way. We can sit back, go with the flow, and enjoy the ride. We can remain fascinated by this life, learning how we are here to serve others, take care of our body, and simply let the all-intelligent life force move through us. This state of perpetual enjoyment of life is real mastery. When we remain free from all forms of ego identification, we cannot help but to enjoy all aspects of this life. We allow a greater love to always guide our course and help us live with ease and grace in every way. The choiceless truth of who you are is revealed to be permanently here, permeating everything, not a thing, and not separate from anything. Yangaji. There is a divine orchestra of spiritual energy and consciousness happening all around us all of the time. We aren't always aware of it because our minds are so distracted and busy with those all too important things of this physical world. It's only when everything stops from some seemingly random event that we are thrown back to our real selves and can see, feel, and taste the bigger picture. In a few brief moments, the mind drops its game, and we understand how divinely perfect everything is. The divine perfection of this universal orchestra is always on a perfect beat. It's continuously humming along, exploding into even more perfection, especially when we are in a bad mood and cannot see it, how or where it is happening. We are always within the womb of this universal beat, always connected with everyone, everywhere, in every dimension of time and space, all the time. When we open ourselves up to this possibility, then each moment we are able to see the real truth. We know how every moment can only be a spiritual merging experience of universal synchronicity in our soul's destiny. So my invitation for you this week is to open your mind and heart to feel the connection with someone you know or would want to know, who is very dead or very alive. Reach out to that wild, free being who is somewhere in this universe. Just do it as an exploration to possibly awaken that same wild, free being within you. Just pick anyone who your heart would have to stretch beyond its normal limitations to open up and connect with them. Invite that special person into your heart space. And imagine that this individual is here now, fully available to be with you, only you, in this moment. You can drop the doubting, skeptical mind by just focusing on the vibration and feeling of trust. Let your heart relax into the experience and reach into the emotional connection you most wish to have. I think if you practice, just practice this for even a few minutes, you'll be surprised to find out that something magical starts to happen. You may not realize the depth of the magic which arises initially, yet stick with it. For wherever attention goes, energy flows. Whatever experience you have is what was destined to happen. Anything can happen from just this simple intention and practice to break through the limitations of our doubtful, time-bound mind. The inner journey that we'll have is completely worth it in the end. So embrace it fully. Enjoy it. Question has been asked many times. How long does it take to reach liberation? How long does it take to reach liberation? It is not to be gained in the future. It is there forever. Here. Now. Realization is for everyone. Realization makes no difference between the aspirants. This very doubt you have, whether you are realized or not, with the notion, I have not realized, are themselves the obstacles to realization. Be free from these obstacles and see who you truly are. Ramana Marisha. Now, you are born with a tremendous possibility of intelligence. You are born with light within you. Listen to the still, small voice within, and that will guide you. Nobody else can guide you. Nobody else can become a model for your life because you are unique. This is your glory, your grandeur, that you are utterly irreplaceable, that you are just yourself and nobody else, Osha. You are absolutely perfect, just as you are. You don't need to do anything, have anything, be with anyone, or even reach some lofty, dreamy goal to find perfection inside. The truth is that you are perfect because your inherent nature is divine. At the innermost core of every atom is perfection. This universe is the divine, perfect existence. You are a part of this universe, so you are part of the perfection. Given into this perfection, give in to this perfection, and you'll feel a whole heck of a lot better. The only reason you may not experience this perfection every day is because the mind has been playing games with you. It has been comparing, judging, scheming, trying, and focusing obsessively on all the many flaws, problems, and imperfections it is imagining. Wake up and be aware. Even though the mind may believe in these imperfections, doesn't mean they exist. It's always your choice to live in this delusional reality of the mind or not. The perfection is always there, especially when the mind cannot see it. The mind can only perceive imperfections by narrowing its focus. And this focus stops it from seeing, feeling, and experiencing the greater whole. Once the mind completely surrenders to existence, then the perfection is realized. Yet you must dive, you must choose to dive all the way to the center of the mind beneath your core beliefs that say you must do X, Y, Z to be loved, wealthy, healthy, and happy. The moment you undermine a core belief, you release it and instantly connect back with the perfection of existence. The mind narrows so that it can in one moment open up to the infinite universe, with you at its very center. The day you've transcended all your core beliefs, you're realizing the perfection has always been inside you, has always been inside you. You, because you'll be seeing it everywhere on the outside. And yes, everything is truly perfect. All positive and negative feelings, thoughts, and experiences are perfect in themselves. They are like colors on a palette. Each emotion has a different color, energy, and frequency to it. Wouldn't the world be a dull, sad place if we decided that half of the colors on the palette were not acceptable? And got rid of them? What would the world be like if the color blue or green were blinded from your eyes? Any inner struggle against them. In other words, remember these inner saboteurs are perfect with the bigger picture. Any inner struggle against them is what is causing your suffering, and not the situation or person which triggered the negative feelings. The secret is to know yourself intimately with all your parts, accepting whatever arises for you, be it joy, sadness, or anger, is absolutely perfect. Suffering. We all know that word. We all know what it means. Only occurs when we try to resist, defend, hold on to, or change any feeling or thought passing through. If thoughts are like trains on train tracks, suffering would be standing on the tracks trying to stop one of them. The secret is to know yourself intimately with all of your parts, accepting whatever arises for you, be it joy, sadness, or anger, is absolutely perfect. Suffering only occurs when you try to resist, defend, hold on to, or change any feeling or thought passing through. If thoughts are like trains on tracks, suffering would be standing on the tracks trying to stop one of them. Just allow the train to pass on by. Let your feelings and thoughts go. Just witness them as you would watch clouds moving across the clear blue sky. Every thought is to be welcomed, and none are to be feared or held onto. If and when you get attached somehow to one repetitive, stagnant thought, you will eventually get wrapped up in the musty feelings that come with it. And the cycle of suffering begins. And yes, this too is perfect. Suffering is that one life lesson that is guaranteed to change the way we do life. After enough suffering, our ego becomes bored with all the drama and is eager to enjoy another new color on the palette. It has more awareness now and is completely ready for an expansive new state of mind. Everything in existence is so absolutely perfect. If we only knew a fraction of it, we'd never make another complaint again. The negative things we see and experience in this life are not negative in nature. Everything in existence is so absolutely perfect. If you only knew a fraction of it, you'd never make another complaint again. The negative things you see and experience in this life are not. The mind's always interpreting everything and labeling things as good and bad. Experiencing this grand perfection around you and inside you occurs the instant you transcend this labeling mind. When you finally relax into what exists beneath the mind. The walls come down. You start seeing the perfection of existence. It's time to remove the well of disillusionment and start celebrating the perfection of who you truly are. If you just can't see, it's time to remove the veil of delusionment and start celebrating the perfection of who we all truly are. If we just can't see it inside or outside our body, simply focus on the energy and quality of nature. Nature is perfect and will eventually open our eyes to it. Meditate on the perfection of all the animals, clouds, oceans, plants, the sky, the stars, and existence its very self. This is what we are connected to on the most intimate levels. When we finally surrender to nature in our outer world, it's easy to find our divinely perfect nature in our inner world. Join you in the meditation and return to close us out. Take an easy and the slow breath in from the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. There is a tremendous celebration happening within you. It's like a massive, spontaneous love festival inside your being. You may not always recognize this great lover that you are. The mind can pull clouds over your eyes, blinding you from the great central sun that is always shining so brightly. This love inside you is bigger than the mind. It is beyond thought, beyond words, and behind the light of pure consciousness itself. The more love that you have to give, the more love you'll feel is flowing within. So give, 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 and don't expect anything in particular in return. Share the love inside, heart, as if there were no tomorrow. I dare you to be flamboyant, carefree, outrageous, and bear all of your love energy to the world. True liberation is allowing for an endless celebration. So toss your worries and fears right out the window. And let's have a real, glorious, heart-opening day. Your heart is the love festival. It's ready to burst forth onto everyone right now. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and following morning. We will return here Tuesday, August 29, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, deepest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's happening within or without.